country on the path of peace and shall find solutions for issues and problems facing us. Grant us the mercy, O Lord, that we shall today also honor thy name in all we think, do, and say. Almighty God, we pray thee, bless our land and all its people. This all we pray in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. Affirmation. I solemnly affirm that I will be faithful to the Republic of Namibia and its people, and I solemnly promise to uphold and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Namibia to the best of my ability. Announcements. Honorable members, the Standing Committee on Standing Rules, Orders, and Internal Arrangements at its meeting held on March 4th, 2026, resolved to the following changes in Parliamentary Standing Committee's representation of members of the Independent Patriots for Change, IPC. 1. Honorable Rodney Klute is to serve in the Committee on Economics, replacing Honorable Elvis Lizazi. 2. Honorable Michael Mulunga is to serve in the Committee on Natural Resources, replacing Honorable Armas Amkoto. 3. Honorable Armas Amkoto is to serve on the Committee on Urban and Rural Development, replacing Honorable Michael Mulunga. 4. Honorable Elvis Lizazi is to serve on the Committee on Poverty, replacing Honorable Otili Haitota. 5. Honorable Lilani Brinkman is to serve on the Committee on Urban and Rural Development, replacing Honorable Abet Hishono. 6. Honorable Otili Haitota is to serve on the Committee on ICT, replacing Honorable Michael Mashindange. And 7. Honorable Abed Hishono is to serve on the Committee on ICT, replacing Honorable Elvis Lizazi. The members, as announced, are welcome to the respective committees and are empowered to attend the meetings as per Rules 20 of the committee rules. End of the announcement. Further, I wish to announce that on the 28th of October 2025, the Speaker made an announcement about the nomination of members of the Committee on Privileges. However, the procedure did not conclude where the nominations were not put to the Assembly for appointment as required by the Privileges Act, Act number 17 of 1996. In terms of Section 7, Sub 2B of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament Act, Act of 1996, the Committee on Privileges shall comprise the Speaker as chairperson and 5 members of the Assembly. The following members have been duly nominated to serve on the Committee on Privileges: Honorable Job Ampanda, Honorable Pohamba Shifeta, Honorable Marlene Mbakera, Honorable Wena Ita, Honorable Elvis Lizazi. I now submit to the House these nominations for the Assembly to appoint the members in terms of the Privileges Act. Any objections? Honorable Likando, is that an objection? Oh, okay. You want to raise on this issue? Oh, okay, on another issue. Okay, no objections. Agreed to? Okay. I congratulate the appointed members and wish them well in the discharge of their duties on this important committee. Okay, now point of privilege, Honorable Likando.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise at the Chief Whip of the Official Opposition Party, and I rise on the rules of privilege under Rule 83(1)D on behalf of the IPC Parliamentary Caucus. On March 18, Honorable Rodney Klute, a member of this Parliament and IPC Shadow Minister of International Relations and the Trade rose during question time to read aloud his notice of question to the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. This question concerned the forbidden stories investigation, the publication of over 1,000 leaked Russian intelligence document pages that the Russian spy agency contacted disinformation campaigns to interfere in Namibia's 2022
Honorable Member,
presidential
are you going
election.
to repeat what the Honorable Klute was saying?
Can I finish?
No, Honorable Member, you must give the gist because
Okay.
otherwise if you have to finish, you will do what the Honorable Member was not
The gist
allowed.
is that the Honorable Member was not allowed time
Yes,
to complete reading his question.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The rules allow that the Speaker can rule a member out of order, but only after hearing what the member has to say. So that privilege was not given to our Honorable Member as stipulated in rule number 120 of the standing rules. So as IPC caucus, we are demanding that the Honorable the Honorable Member may be given an opportunity to complete his question, and then that's when the Speaker can rule him out of order. And if that is not achieved, we want to push the issue to the Privileged Committee.
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Likando.
Yes.
Yes, you may take your seat now.
Thank you.
Yes, the presiding officer would make a ruling on that point of privilege, but that ruling is deferred. As I have indicated, I would like to see the question of the Honorable Member to satisfy myself as to its admissibility or otherwise. And then I'll make a ruling, and if you are not happy, then you can proceed to the next platform to have it reviewed. Thank you. Messages from the head of state? Petitions? Reports of standing or select committees? Yes, Honorable Likanda. Yeah.
The question, or I should ask the question?
Yeah, no, he should just share. He should hand it over. Yes, because
Then
I need to establish.
How will the question be recorded if it's just shared?
Yeah, it is shared for me as the presiding officer to examine it and make a determination. Okay, then go and find the consent that you have,
Honorable Speaker.
I have already said I will defer the ruling. I said I will defer the ruling.
But at least hear him out, and then you can make your ruling.
Honorable Member, I will, the rules, if I do that, I'm now ruling. I wanted to defer the ruling so that I can prepare myself appropriately. Yes. Yeah. The rule says once the presiding officer has explained or made a ruling, there is to be no debate on the matter. Not on this matter. Yeah, not on this matter. You have, but not on this matter, because otherwise it becomes a discussion. No, the ruling is deferred. You see? Yeah, no. I note that and I appreciate it. Yeah, not on this matter. Okay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I'm not asking with regards to the matter on the floor currently, but I'm asking in general whether the rules allow for a presiding officer to actually rule on a matter that is not on record. I think that is the question here. Yes. If I have, perhaps I come with a motion or notice of motion and I've not submitted it to the table office and on the floor of the House, I wonder, Honorable Speaker, maybe you may guide me. I wonder whether it's possible for the Speaker to rule on a matter that is not on record. Yes. I don't think I'm not even debating the Speaker's judgment or anything. I'm just asking in general.
Yes, Honorable Member, the rules say that when the presiding officer makes a ruling, he or she can determine that that matter not be put on the record. So which means that ruling can be made before the matter is put on the record. Yeah. So, but if the member decides that he is going to refuse to share that information, then the presiding officer would make a ruling based on what the presiding officer has heard. And the rules are saying The rules are saying when that decision is made, it cannot be debated, it cannot be appealed. So it is his choice whether he wants to enable the presiding officer to have the full facts to be able to make a determination or not. Yeah? But the presiding officer has heard enough to raise a concern, and that is why the presiding officer had to stop the process. Yes, yeah. Honorable members, I think the presiding officer has explained. Yeah. Reports of standing or select committees. Other reports and papers. Notices of questions. Honorable Likando, Honorable Klute.
How many T-shirts did you get? Did you report on all the money?
You are out of order, Honorable.
He's out of order. Why don't you call him to order? Honorable Speaker, I hereby give notice that on the 26th of March 2026, I shall ask the Minister of International Relations and Trade the following. The Auditor General's report on the Ministry for Financial Year 2023-24 fund unauthorized spending of 39.7 million, an impossible KBI audit, and procurement from the genocide account with zero documentation. I ask the Minister. The Ministry overspent its budget by 39 million. That is almost $40 million spent without this Parliament's approval. The State Finance Act says the accounting officer is personally liable when this happens. The account office signs these books. Have they been surcharged? Have they faced any disciplinary action at all? 2, 486 million, let me say that again, $486 million was classified under one line item called Other Services and Expenses. That is 48.8% of all operational spending. Will the Minister table a detailed breakdown showing who received that money, for what purpose, and through what procurement method? 3, the audit found that the Ministry's procurement from the genocide reparations account money owed to the Nama and Herero communities was done with zero documentation. No quotes, no contracts, nothing. Will the Minister direct the Auditor General to conduct a special audit of all genocide funds? I so ask.
The Honourable Member may table the questions. Honorable Thomas.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, good afternoon. On Tuesday, March 24, 2026, I shall ask Honorable Steenkamp, the Minister of Education, Innovation, Art, Sport and Culture, the following. Many students apply for the combat VTC in the Chivarongo region, Grootfontein constituency, are even being accepted, and they even pay the institution fees, only to discover that their names are placed on the waiting list. Some people have been on the waiting list for 2 years, and their names are still on the waiting list. My question, 1, what's going on? The Honorable Minister, does the VTC knew, or this VTC member knew what are they doing? 3, last, why should the student pay the fee but not being taken in? What step will the Minister take in order to grant those students access to the classroom or embarrass them so that they can go and register to another institution I shall submit?
Yes, the Honourable Member may table the questions, please. Honourable Kumbwa. Oh, one moment.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the floor. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, 26 March 2026, I shall ask the Minister of Health and Social Services, Honorable Dr. Esperanza Lubindawa, the following questions. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Honorable Minister, since the 1st of March 2026, the Health Professions Council of Namibia has centralized the issuing of nursing certificates and licenses for 2026-2027 at its head office in Windhoek. This arrangement has compelled graduates from all 14 regions, including those from remote villages, to travel to Windhoek to access these essential services. It is reported that these graduates are experiencing considerable hardship, which includes the following: traveling vast distances to the capital, facing significant challenges in securing affordable accommodation in Windhoek, enduring extensive waiting periods, often from 8 o'clock in the morning until as late as 19 hours or 20 hours in the evening. In numerous instances, being required to return the following day, which forces them into an unplanned and costly stay over in Windhoek before they can complete their documentation and return to their respective regions. Now, Honorable Minister, are you of the opinion that the Health Professions Council of Namibia is rendering a fair and efficient service to nursing graduates under the current centralized model? What immediate remedial measures is in your ministry considering to address the logistical and financial burdens currently being faced by these graduates? Recognizing the difficulties graduates face in making payments, particularly in areas without Bank Windhoek or First National Bank, on locations with limited or no network connectivity for electronic transactions, what alternative of payment method is your ministry or the council exploring to eliminate the need of traveling to Windhoek? The last one, does your ministry intend for this service to remain permanently centralized in Windhoek? If not, what is the timeline for decentralizing these services to the regional level to bring them closer to the people they are meant to serve? I so submit.
We have tabled the questions, Honorable Member. Yes, you may please table the questions. Honorable Lucato.
Honorable Speaker, members of the Parliament, and the leaders of various political parties, good day and thank you for the platform. Today, Thursday, 19 March 2026, I hereby give notice that on Thursday, 26 March 2026, I shall ask the Minister of Health and Social Services, my relative sister, Honorable Dr. Luvindao, the following questions. On the provision of medical health facilities at the Democratic Resettlement Community in Swakumundini, Mighty Rongo region. Honorable Minister, I've observed that the residents of DRC have to walk a very long distance to the nearest hospital for the medical attention. They are in deep cry for a health center to be established in their vicinity for self-delivery in the area. The situation is life-threatening to the residents of DRC, especially in cases of emergency. Therefore, I want to know, Honorable Minister, that the first question, have you visited DRC, and are you aware of the situation in the area? Number two, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, what is your plan in this area? The last one, my relative sister, Honorable Dr. Minister, is your ministry planning to build a hospital or health center in DRC? If so, can you tell the Namibian people when it will be done? I so submit it, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, please take all the questions, Honorable. Honorable Mwashindange.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker,
yes, please, you have the floor.
I need your assistance.
Yes.
Before I pose the question. This question is, in its nature, very urgent. I was ready to post it yesterday. Fortunately, Honorable Speaker could not accord us that chance to speak. I therefore want to find out from you, Honorable Speaker, if you will allow urgent oral questions today, or you will use that discretion, that very bad discretion of yesterday to again not allow us. Then I will be...
Yeah, Honorable Member, first there is a long list of MPs who are asking for the floor to ask questions. I have to go through that list and see how much time is spent and use a discretion on whether or not to allow urgent oral questions. So the next one is Honorable Kantorodu.
Honorable Speaker,
yes.
I ask so that you give me a response so that I know the way forward. In that case, I don't want to be a victim of that discretion again. I will pose it as a written question.
You see, you just confirmed what my concern has been. So the Honorable Member has a written question, but wanted to pose it as an oral question. Proceed, Honorable Member.
Thank you.
Proceed.
My time. Yeah. And many things. Honorable Speaker, time.
Secretariat, can you take care?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. As I said, this question is very urgent. I will try to make it as a notice. I give notice that on Thursday, the 26th of March, I shall ask the Minister of Finance the following. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the Namibia Revenue Agency, NAMRA, derives its power from the Customs and Excise Act of 1998, and a 28-year-old act, to detain, seize, and ultimately forfeit goods where there is non-compliance with custom laws, including failure to pay duties or taxes. Goods are first detained to verify compliance and later seized if deemed liable to forfeiture. Once forfeited to the state, such goods may be disposed of, including through public auction under the Act, often after Treasury approval. Recent enforcement measures include detaining goods of importers who fail to settle customs duties. As I'm addressing this Parliament, a company by the name Auco is busy auctioning some of these goods in Rundo and Prosperita window. Against that background, I ask the Honourable Minister, what procedural safeguards are in place to ensure that consification is lawful, proportionate, and consistent with constitutional provisions of rights to property? What appeal mechanisms are available to importers or traders before goods are forfeited and auctioned? Noting that NAMRA appoints private auctioneers to conduct such sales, what measures are in place to ensure transparency in auction processes, including selection of auctioneers, pricing mechanism, prevention of corruption, or inside participation? Has the ministry conducted any impact assessment on how falsification and auctioning practices affect our youth and women traders whose only crime is trying their best to create jobs for themselves and other unemployed Namibians, after told to create their own jobs some years back and promised unrealistic 500,000 jobs by the SWAPO government? What steps is the ministry taking to reduce delays in customs clearance that may contribute to non-compliance? And has the ministry considered introducing administrative penalties? Number 6, and the last one, it has been reported this afternoon that goods are compliant and not counterfeit. What qualified auctions and what is the ministry doing urgently to ease the plight of the order with me business? And lastly, what oversight mechanisms exist to audit auction outcomes and proceeds? I so submit.
Thank you, Honourable Member. So the questions were even too many to be asked orally. Yeah. More than the 3 minutes even. Yeah, Honourable Members, please be reminded that there is 20 minutes in total for written questions also. Honourable Kandoroto, and so far we have had 5 members ask questions.
Thank you, Speaker. I hereby give notice that on 26 March this year shall ask the Minister of Labour, Justice and Labour, Honourable Philemon Emmanuel, the following questions. Honourable Minister, it has come to public attention that labour hire companies in Namibia, such as Africa Personnel Service and 360, continue to recruit and place workers in major companies, including multinational corporations like Coca-Cola, under conditions that raises serious concern about fairness and workers' exploitations. Many of these workers reportedly received only between 30% and 50% of the total amount paid to the client's companies, with the remainder retained by the labour hire agencies. These workers often perform the same duties as permanent employed staff, yet they do not receive equal pay, neither benefit, job security, or access to pension and medical aid. This situation has led to widespread concern that the current labour hire system permits practices that undermine workers' rights and dignity, despite the provision of the Labour Act of 2007 and its subsequent amendments. In light of this, I would like to ask the Honourable Minister the following questions. What immediate steps is the Ministry taking to address the alleged exploitations of workers employed through labour hire companies? How does the Minister ensure enforcement of existing legal provision that require equal treatment for agencies, workers performing the same roles as permanent employees? Is the Ministry considering amendment to strengthen the current legal framework, particularly provision related to labour hire practices, to prevent excessive profit-taking by intermediaries? Are there plans to introduce policies that mandate or incentivize direct employment by companies after a defined period of service? Has the Ministry considered banning or further restricting labour hire companies to eliminate the middleman system that appears to disadvantage workers? What role are labour inspectors and trade unions playing, Karonda, in monitoring and addressing this concern, and how can their effectiveness be improved? I so submit.
Let's table the questions. Honourable Mbundu.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 26th March 2026, I shall ask the Minister of Urban Rural Development, Honourable James Sankwasa, the following. The leave entitlement of former regional council remain inconsistently applied across the regions. In a circular issued on 8 December 2022 by the late Honourable President Hage G. Gengo, may his soul continue to rest in peace, allowed rollover of leave days and payment of accumulated leave subject to approval. Despite this, Government Gazette 8811 of the 23rd December 2025 removed rollover provision, raising uncertainty about its applicability to former councillors whose terms ended prior to its promulgations. Some regions have paid leave in full, while others cite budget or policy constraint. Delay persists despite POBC recommendation and clear guidance from the 2022 circular. Questions: when will all regional councils, particularly Omaheke, Erongo, Hardap, Karas and Kunene, finalize and pay outstanding leave to former councillors in time, in line with the 8 December 2022 circular? Question 2. Does Government Gazette 8811 of 23rd December 2025 apply former councillor whose terms ended before its promulgation, and if it's so, or what legal basis? 3. What measure has the ministry taken to ensure that funds already budgeted by regional council for leave payment are used as intended and not reallocated? 4. Why has the ministry not issued a clear binding directive to all regional councils to implement the 2022 circular consistently across all regions? 5. What step is the ministry taking to ensure that regional councils fully understand the role and execute leave payment correctly, avoiding misinterpretation of the authority? I so submit.
The member may table the questions. Honorable Likando.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I hereby give notice that on Thursday, the 26th of March 2026, I shall ask the Honorable Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism the following questions. Recent regional consultations regarding national tourism policy held in the Irongo region have brought to light significant concerns from tourism stakeholders regarding the future direction of the sector. Industry voices, including the Hospitality Association of Namibia and the Namibia Ports Authority, have called for stronger interministerial coordination, alignment with national development frameworks, and caution against costly rebranding exercises. Furthermore, the ministry has proposed new mechanisms such as the tourism information system to improve data collection and strengthen sustainability planning. I therefore ask the Honorable Minister the following questions. Why did it take 17 years for the ministry to review the national tourism policy, given significant transformations in the global tourism landscape during this period? And how will the revised policy ensure that community-based tourism initiatives receive adequate support and equitable access to tourism concessions? In light of the proposed tourism information system, how does the ministry plan to address current gaps in the collection and reporting of accurate statistics? Lastly, what specific outcomes or deliverables can the tourism sector expect from the revised policy that were not achieved under the 2008 policy over the past 17 years? Honorable Speaker, I so submit.
Thank you for the questions, Honorable Member. Now we have 2 minutes left for questions, so I'll give the last person, Honorable Susiku.
Thank you. It's an urgent oral question.
Oh, yours is urgent oral question. Is there any notified question?
No, it's
not. Okay. You have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker.
Let me get the gist. Okay. Today is the last day of the budget, so let's be summary to the point.
Thank you so much.
Let me hear what you want to ask about.
Honorable Speaker and Honorable members,
of the general.
I would like to ask the urgent question to Honorable Minister of Health and Social Services, Honorable Rubin Dow. I have taken notice of the provisions the Ministry of Health has made to the flood victims. However, I would like to ask the following question. Had the ministry considered taking a provision like toilet facilities to those flood victim people in the region? And the area, the whole total area now as we are speaking, is already submerged with flood. So has the ministry considered that aspect? So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Minister of Health.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Member. Can I just get some clarity? I'm not sure if I heard correctly. The Honourable Member asked that the Minister of Health must take toilets. Which region is that? Which region?
Okay, can you allow the Honourable Honourable Susiku? Yeah. Is that the resorting under your ministry, Minister?
My apologies, Honourable Speaker, you said?
Yes. Is that question resorting under?
Sorry? Okay, let's continue. Hold on. Wait for the floor.
Yeah, no, can the honourable members please not interject so that the minister can hear the question that we put?
I'm saying among the provisions the Minister of Health and Social Services is doing in those affected communities. Have you considered taking some toilet facilities, like portable toilets, to the communities affected by flood? Yeah. At Muzi, at Kasika, at Kavulavula, Nakavoleva, all those communities affected by flood now. Yeah.
They want to kaka.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, yes. Honourable Minister, is that question not resorting under your ministry? Because you can please rise and give an answer.
Disaster risk. Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question. I don't believe that falls under myself. I would believe that would fall under disaster management, which would then fall under perhaps either the Office of the Prime Minister, yes, or, well, Ministry of Urban, Rural Development to sort of join together. However, the Ministry of Health would definitely not shy away from being involved where we can. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. So, Honourable Susiku, you can ask the Prime Minister over a cup of tea. Now, Honourable members, I would allow only 2 questions depending on whether they are urgent. That's Honourable Lizazi and Honourable Kambala. They will indicate the gist of the question, and then we will go to the...
Very much, Angela, for the floor. Honourable Prime Minister of the Republic of Namibia. Thank you. I'm asking that we are hearing that the Office of the President is purchasing the office building that was supposed to be purchased for the members of Parliament as an office space for the upstream petroleum unit, which is still not yet a creature of legislation. Is it true? And if it's true, why?
Yes, right, Honourable Prime Minister, would you like to answer that question?
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honourable Member, for the African shirt. And also, thank you very much for your hypothetical question. And when it becomes unhypothetical, that question can, Honourable Speaker, with your indulgence, that it be put in writing so that we are able to do justice to you. So that we do justice to you in answering, as well as to be empirical in any response that we give. Honourable Speaker, if you would indulge me, on the Honourable Simasiku. Susiku. I think he asked a very important question, a a question that borders on human rights and dignity and decency of every human being, including those that find themselves in the situation of the flood. So therefore, his question is one that we will have to follow through if and when it is determined that the villages so mentioned, they lack those basic amenities such as sanitation, which, as Honorable Speaker, you would know, it is our commitment as government to ensure that everybody, especially those in rural areas, are afforded those opportunities commensurate with those that are in urban areas. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. The last one is Honorable Kabala.
Okay, thank you, Speaker. One is on to the Minister of Health. It's regarding the damaged and lost data in Oshakati. And knowing that, seeing that we are considering now, within 2 weeks we are moving into the state facilities, and data is of importance. Health records are important because they can also change. They can save lives and change lives at the same time. And over 10,000 records in the Shakati have been damaged by floods and rats. And what we find out from the minister is that those that were helped to take care of these records in Shakati, or the health responsible, and what assistance have they received to ensure that this does not happen. Number two is that knowing that there is no billing system, there is no data system in your digital system, as a champion of data and digital data, what are the current processes that are in place to ensure that for those that are joining SEMAs right now, joining the public health care, their data is safeguarded? For instance, there's somebody here that has a medical record with a doctor for 10 years. How sure are we that my record, if I move to public health care, that data is well kept, safe, and protected? And then in the interim, what is happening right now to what is in the interim? What is this, the data score in our healthcare sector regarding data, public healthcare records? Where are they? Are we transforming them from?
The questions are too many, Honorable Members.
I'm not expanding.
Yeah. The rules say the oral agent questions must be short and to the point.
It's why what happened, what is going on, and how are you preventing?
Okay, very good. Thank you. Minister of Health.
Member, for that very detailed, urgent oral question. I will try and group them. The first one with regards to accountability. Firstly, it is important for me to emphasize that although perhaps the Honourable Member may have come to be aware of this manner of storage of medical records through this newspaper article, perhaps, I must emphasize, let me land my point, Honourable Member. Let me land my point, Honourable Member. Let me land my point, Honourable Member.
Yes.
Let me land my point. Can I land my point?
Yes.
Can I land my
Honourable, the Minister won't hear you if you are speaking at the same time as she is. She's responding to the question. Yeah. Okay, just let her answer.
No, why should she ask something that you already
Although the fact the member might have become aware of that particular case in the media, there are numerous other similar cases. I think grammar is becoming a bit of a problem.
Allow the minister to answer.
So we are not dismissing. I think grammar is becoming a bit of a problem, Honourable Speaker, so allow me to clarify and simplify.
Yes.
We are not dismissing this. What I'm saying is Oshakati, Honourable Member, is not the only place. And so what we are trying to say, Honorable Speaker, is
Ask him if you want an answer.
that in terms of finding a way forward, the Ministry of Health and Social Services has already gone so far as preparing bid documents. We've gone out on tender already for the first phase of the digital health system. The final phase as to what is the way forward currently sits now with CPBN, and once that is finalized, that entire bid goes out so that we can transform the entire data management system in the Ministry of Health and Social Services, so that, Honorable Member, we are not doing piecemeal solutions, but so that we are sorting out the data management system in the entire country. That is what I was trying to do there.
Thank you. Now, notices of motions. No further discussions and questions.
You must listen.
We go to notice of motions, please. Yeah, no, notices of motions, Honorable Member. We are not going to continue with the routine of business where there is a time limit after the break. So I want to proceed to notice of motions so that there is an opportunity granted there. Who has a notice of a motion? No one. Okay. Minister, yeah? Okay. Can the Honorable, who has a notice of a motion? Honorable Lucato? Yeah.
But Carola is...
No, he had a question. We have exhausted the oral agent question time.
Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, thank you very much for the platform. Today, Thursday, 19 March 2026, I hereby give notice that on Wednesday, 25 March 2026, I shall move that this August House discuss and agrees to table the motion to locate suspects, those who have absconded from trial to face trial on the Fishrot case. Some suspects of the Fishrot case are yet to be traced and apprehended. For that, all suspects should be traced, apprehended, and interrogated. And when the suspects are proven guilty for the missing resources of Namibia, they should face the law for justice to be served. I so submit, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member. Yes. Yes, thank you. Yeah, okay, let me get the gist of the point of privilege. I'll get the gist, yes. And then I'll, yes. Yeah. Is it a motion? Honorable members.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Patriots, please come down. Yeah, anyways, Speaker, I'm just a little bit worried about some of the motions, and this is, of course, with due respect to all the members in this House. The motion, for instance, that was just submitted, and the Speaker, funny enough, actually allowed that, has to do with provisions of an existing law. And I wonder, Speaker, whether it's right to allow...
provision of an existing law? What do you mean by
Yes, because he's speaking about absconding of inmates, for example, from, or not inmates, but rather trial awaiting persons. Whether Speaker should not advise, rather, that the member proposes an amendment to a law instead of bringing a motion like that. Because, Speaker, I've also gone through...
Okay, so what are you saying?
I'm just saying the same way Speaker did not allow some of the questions.
No,
Speaker must also use that authority.
Okay.
No.
So which authority is that one?
The discretion of the presiding officer.
To do what?
To guide the members in terms of the content of a motion, for example.
Okay.
So I wonder, Honorable Speaker,
I want you to help me to understand what is the problem with the motion.
No, it's not just this motion, Honorable Speaker. And I think perhaps
okay.
What
it is difficult, Honorable Member.
No, it's not difficult. Speaker, please let me just lend.
No, I am trying to get clarity. It will be difficult if you don't specify something and you just speak in general, it will be difficult for me to make out what you are trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah, so unless if you use maybe an example.
Okay. Speaker, can I, because now each time Speaker speaks, I must actually sit. So
yeah.
Can I just land and
Yes.
then I finish and I sit and then I allow Speaker to also guide the House and guide me as well as a senior member of the House?
Yeah, Honorable, okay, can you?
Speaker, I thought I specified, I specified that if a motion, for example, if the directive is to deal with trial awaiting in persons, there is a particular provision in the law. We have an existing law that guides that. So instead of having a general debate, would it not be right then for the presiding officer to rather encourage the member to introduce an amendment to an existing law instead of bringing, almost as if introducing this new topic of discussion while we already have an existing law on that?
Yes, Honorable Member, I would look at that motion specifically to see whether there is a problem with it. Yeah, but the last one, Honorable Members, the point of privileges is that I can't read it now because I would check and defer my ruling on that one. I would make a determination later. But the point of privileges, they are becoming too many and they are becoming a point of discussion. Yeah, Honorable Members. So I will get the gist from the gist, not the point of privilege. So I can decide, no, that one is not a point of privilege. And you are the last one on point of privilege, Honorable Somaya. Yes. Because we need to proceed. It's taking up too much time. Yes.
Yeah, Speaker, this is not specifically to challenge anybody or to law, but it's sort of a celebration. That we have learned yesterday, and it's also a congratulations to the Minister of Health, because it happens in a fraternity, that we had a successful operations yesterday on a patient. The patient was transferred to South Africa, and then we managed in Namibia in our history. A person operated on a brain tumor while playing a guitar. And that's the best news that happens in Namibia. And it's something that we can celebrate as a leader.
Now, Honorable Member, now that is a very good news, but that is not point of privilege, Honorable Member. You cannot disrupt the proceedings of the House to make that announcement. But you could have notified the presiding officer if you wanted that to be announced, so that we make an announcement. Okay, Honorable Members, now we were notices of motions, ministerial statements, reports from the Committee of the Whole Assembly and consequential proceedings. On what? Yes, it was on questions, and I have ended with the questions already. What is it on? What is it on? No, you press the button when I had called for questions. So members are to press the button when an item is called. So if you press the button at the first item, I will consider that to be part of the first item. Yeah, so that's my determination. Now, orders of the day is, the Secretary will now read the order of the day. No, actually, it's 3:40. Ne? The House would rise until 16 hours for a break. let's take our seats. Now, order of the day. The secretary will read the first order of the day.
Resumption of debate on second reading appropriation bill.
When this assembly adjourned on Wednesday, the 18th of March, 2026, the question before the assembly was a motion by the Honorable Minister of Finance. Honorable Kanguru adjourned the debate, and he now has the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the floor, honorable members. As our position is an official opposition, have already been made very clearly articulated by the leaders of official opposition in this parliament during his intervention. Accordingly, I want to also supplement with my contribution to the appropriation bill for the 2026-2027 financial year that is made within the shared understanding that sustainable national security remain a fundamental pillar of any national budget that aspired to be stable, credible, and implementable. Without security in all dimensions, no nation can effectively safeguard its sovereignty, protect its national resources, or guarantee the well-being and the welfare of its citizens. It is therefore imperative that the budget priority reflect a balanced and forward-looking commitment in strengthening the institution and the system that uphold peace, stability, and national resilience. Honorable Speaker, national security must not be understood very narrowly as just military strengthening alone. Security is a complex aspect that encompasses, amongst other, economical securities, resources securities, social stabilities, and the protection of our national interests across all sectors. A budget that failed to secure this foundation cannot produce a sustainable development or neither attain prosperity for all citizens. In this regard, I wish to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister of Finance and all honorable members of this august House to the significance of the defense and the veterans budget towards socio-economic imperative. The budget allocation to defense remain high. Looking at our consume of budget, the budget of defense is not that is few, but it's quite high, though it's not sufficient. It will go a long way if spent efficiently and in an accountable way. It is demand with the current allocation of 7.53 billion compared to the 7.48 billion of 2025-2026. And given the evolving regional and global geopolitical environment, defense force remain the ultimate guarantor of the national sovereignty and territorial integrity and the protection of our national interests. The question remains, is that budget that I have eventually indicated to able to sustain our defense? Can the national budget sustain our defense force and its demand? Given the fact that our country entered a new phase of economic transformation, driven by the discoveries of oil and gas, the need for a robust defense capabilities have even become more imminent. Protecting those assets require investment in maritime security, airspace surveying, border control, and acquiring modern defense infrastructure, technological advancement, and modern sophisticated equipment to position our defense force competitively, be it against those in the region or in the global. Therefore, more commitment will be required in this particular ministry allocation. Honorable Speaker, equally important is the well-being and the welfare of the veteran of the liberation struggle. Those men and women that sacrifices their youthful energies and livelihood to secure independence that we are enjoying today. To that end, that's why me and you are sitting comfortably in this house, and we should, by all means, respect and honor them. Many of them are still living under difficult socio-economic conditions, Honorable Kaposi, without a hope of any taste of what they've been fighting for. Therefore, imagine the current budget of the veteran that he stood at 1.52 against 1.53 during the 2025-2026. But the whole 1.43 of 1.52 billion is earmarked for the liberation struggle heritage under Program 2. I now seriously doubt to why should we have the allocation of 1.43 to the heritage instead of earmarking that to the social well-being of those veterans. It is therefore very doubtful that the 31 million that is earmarked within this financial year for the welfare of the veteran will never be sufficient, will never be enough. How many of the veterans will be accommodated in the 31 million? We have 31 million for those who are able to see, feel, and speak and give history, and we have 1.4 billion in a heritage. Which one should we choose first if you are to give priority, Honorable Speaker? Therefore, also with the supplemental of the Deputy Prime Minister, not Deputy Prime Minister, but the Deputy Minister of Veteran, yesterday he spoke very, very well, whereby he advocated for the veteran benefit. And I believe he will be able to support me and with the support of the Minister to make sure that we are able to reallocate. It cannot be correct that we look after building and all that over the people who are able to speak, able to assist their family, and able to look after their kids who are at UNAM and elsewhere. Government must ensure that all outstanding veteran and benefits are addressed promptly, that administrative inefficiencies are eliminated within the system, and that support mechanisms are strengthened to restore the dignity and security to those who fought for this nation. Caring for the veteran is never a charity, Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker. It is a national obligation and a matter of justice. We need to ensure that justice is served, and we need to look after those who deserve to be looked after. Honorable Speaker, I would want to refer you to the late Johnny Pembe Magufuli, once said, and I quote, development does not come from speeches, it came from action. Development does not come from speeches, it came from action. End of the quote. Enough with statement, enough with good speech. People need action and implementation. Fellow Namibians, fellow members of this House, Namibia is one of the thresholds of the petroleum production. the oil discoveries that we contain in the Orange Basin require that we upgrade and we ensure that we are able to protect those assets and resources. We are at the peer production of the oil that could contribute up to 18% of the GDP. This transformation requires that our Navy infrastructure are upgraded. And we must also make sure that with 1.5 kilometers of our coastal line that is quite vulnerable, illegal fishing in our ocean is costing us, it's costing the Namibian people, and we need to make sure that security is guaranteed. Honorable Speaker, furthermore, Namibia, as it is about also to, of course, to produce the petroleum production.
Honorable Member, your time is up, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Kachingi Siwa.
Yeah, good afternoon, compatriots. Good afternoon, comrades. Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to make my contribution to the budget presented by our Honorable Finance Minister on the 26th of February 2026. In her budget speech, the Honorable Finance Minister stated, and I quote, "The budget is not merely a record of Namibian dollars, it is unbreakable contract between the state and its people." Thank you for that, Honorable Erika, and I unquote. It means, therefore, that the budget we are discussing is not merely figures and prioritization of allocations of the resources available to the state, but a reflection of our approach to dealing with the daily aspiration, dreams, sufferings, and livelihood of our people. It is a demonstration of how we view and respond to the challenges and opportunities available to our people. It is a demonstration of how we view, and it calls therefore for somber moment every time we are presented with the opportunity to reflect the budget allocations, because behind the numbers and figures reflected in the budget are real young people that need to go to school, people that have to go to clinics, and our elders that need to receive their monthly allowances to sustain their household livelihood. Yet, barely behind those figures are young Namibians that have aspirations to become medical doctors, teachers, and engineers to move their families' lives and our country forward. We note, however, that the 2026-2027 national budget is presented at the time of difficult microeconomic challenges, with government revenue projected to increase by a mere 2.5%, which is below inflation. This is therefore calls for a delicate act in balancing the ever-increasing priorities of our state given the limited revenue available. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, the 2026-2027 national budget presented by our very able Finance Minister, Honorable Erika Shafuta, included some noteworthy allocations, including the 2.8 billion for the tertiary education support, the 259 million for the recruitment of our health professionals. There is it, Honorable Lewindau, you are moving very well. And then 1.7 billion for the civil servant salaries enhancement. So something was given to us, let's upload it. This allocation should be supported as they speak directly to the real needs and aspirations of our people, and will go a long way in dealing with the myriad of our social challenges such as housing, education, unemployment, and health, amid the high expectation of our people. The continued prioritization of social clusters by our government, with over 60% of the budget allocation should be uploaded, and is clear evidence in our government's emphasis of the life and future of our country's people. It's also noteworthy highlighting the allocation of the funding to the youth through the National Youth Fund, which was initiated last year, and herald increased funding being available to our youth to finance the start and growth of their business enterprises. There is a need for stronger legislative and funding instruments to mainstream and advance gender equality, in particular at businesses sector level, and to this end, we would like to see more pointed instruments being leveraged through policy documents such as the local content, local ownership, etc., to advance gender equality in our society and particularly in business. In addition, the monitoring and evaluation of gender advancement through the affirmative action processes should be strengthened to see more women advancing to the highest position in our society, not only in government. We are aware that the majority are women according to the population of Namibia. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, it will be important to see similar funding initiates as the National Youth Fund being devised for women and National Youth Fund being recasted to prioritize gender mainstreaming in addition to the youth focus. In conclusion, I would like to thank the Honorable Finance Minister for delivering a budget that is responsive to the challenges of our times and for keeping the futures in the budget reflecting these challenges. So with this short speech, I support the budget.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Mfikwa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to contribute to the budget
Camera.
for 2026-2027 as the Shadow Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture. As we debate this appropriation bill, honorable members, I want us to imagine a young learner named Sarah from Hangwena region. Every morning before sunrise, Sarah wakes up to fetch water for her siblings, then walk a long distance to school. When she arrives, she sits on the floor and joins many other learners inside the tent that serves as a classroom. Where heat rises quickly, the wind shakes the canvas, the rain seeps in, soaking exercise books, and concentration becomes very difficult. Yet Sarah sits there with a determination to become a doctor one day. Honorable Speaker, the question before this House is very simple. Will this budget reach Sarah's school and make her dream a reality? The government has allocated approximately 28 billion to education, which constitute a large share of the national budget. 10% of this allocation supports subsidized tertiary education. About 939 million allocated to, which is roughly 3.3%, is earmarked for development projects to reduce school congestion and improve infrastructure. While these figures appear impressive on paper, the reality on the ground tells a different story. Honorable Speaker, across the country, over 1,200 learners still attend their classrooms in tents and overcrowded classrooms, with teacher-learner ratio of 1:50 for the junior primary phase, when it's supposed to be 1:35. To be specific, Faith Primary School has 50 learners in grade 4. Many other schools across the country are even worse. A Lao Combined School in Oshikango has over 70 learners in one class.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, at the beginning of this year, we witnessed learners from Okahao Primary School carrying chairs to school due to lack of furnitures. From less privileged communities, these learners sit on the floor. These conditions, Madam Speaker, raise serious concerns about whether our infrastructure planning is keeping pace with enrollment growth and population dynamics. If the classroom construction and resource planning do not anticipate these sharp increases, overcrowding and resources shortages will only worsen every year. And the 3.3% allocated is not sufficient. Madam Speaker, must learners like Sarah keep studying in the tents while we celebrate large allocations on paper? Honorable Speaker, a major delay in infrastructure delivery is due to persistent failure in procurement and contract management. Too often, contractors are awarded projects, abandon them halfway, and then reappear in future tenders without consequences. Communities remain with half-built schools, overcrowded classrooms, and extra costs for unfinished projects. Madam Speaker, what are the consequences of contractors who abandon public education projects? If a contractor fails to deliver the service, they shouldn't simply walk away and then bid for another government contract as if nothing happened. There must be blacklisting, there must be penalties, and there must be accountability. Because every abandoned capital project represents a lost opportunity, it represents a loss of hostel and laboratory facility. It means there is no conducive learning environment for a learner like Sarah. And there is no renovation for over 50 classrooms in Kavango region. Honorable Speaker, this further means that there is no additional funding for 614 million allocated for vocational training, which represent only 2% of this budget. It equally means science, technology, and innovation, which receives only 127.3 million, will not thrive either. Madam Speaker, vocational training centers are intended to equip young people with practical skills for employment and free enterprise. Together with science, technology, and innovation, which are critical for skill development for job creation, it receives only 3% of this entire education budget. Can Namibia really address youth unemployment with this budget? Madam Speaker, currently we only have 8 vocational centers across the country with the capacity of 4,000 trainees. These centers are expected to serve learners that are exiting grade 9, learners that did not make it for advanced subsidiary, grade 11s, both part-time and full-time, that couldn't make it to universities. How can these spaces absorb thousands of school leavers every year? Honorable Speaker, if Sarah progresses through this education system and finds no vocational training, no job opportunities, the promise to education as a ladder out of poverty become very uncertain. Madam Speaker, the government has taken an important step by introducing subsidized education. Although tuition and registration fee has fallen, the non-tuition support is provided as a loan, leaving students burdened with debts when they cannot find a job. Yet, many students are struggling to afford accommodation and living expenses. In some cases, non-tuition fee have not reached those who need it the most, notably to date. And therefore, many students continue to face these challenges. Honorable Speaker, it's very worrisome that many graduates remain unemployed for an extended period after completing their studies. Others later discover that their qualifications do not align with the labor market demands and must pursue an additional training or a postgraduate study to become employable. Yet, these same graduates may no longer qualify for subsidized education funding once they already hold a qualification. For Sarah, attending university will not depend only on tuition subsidies, but also whether she can afford the true cost of studying and living as a student and secure employment with her first qualification, support her siblings, and also contribute to our economy. Otherwise, the investment in the subsidized education risks producing neither quality education nor productive citizens. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, this budget is more than a financial document. It reflects our commitment to the future of a Namibian child. If we are serious about achieving our NDP 6 goals, we have to ensure that these millions that we allocated today are impactful and they really translate to the progress of this nation. Honorable members, before we pass this budget, I invite all of us in this chamber to picture a classroom or a lecture hall in the year 2030, where every learner is seated at a table, surrounded by modern learning materials, guarded by motivated and well-supported educators, and prepared for a future full of possibilities. Imagine the pride of knowing that our commitment today helped shape this transformation. Let us therefore take a collective ownership of this vision, ensuring that our decision in this chamber can remove tents from our schools, can buy stationaries for Namadi Amweli Hange Primary School in Okongo, can provide stationaries and provide skills for our innovators, create jobs for our graduates, and ensuring that Sarah and other learners realize their dreams. I so submit.
Honorable Hengombe. Yes, indeed, Sarah must be empowered.
Yes,
yes.
please.
Honorable Hengombe.
Sarah must be.
Yes, Honorable Hengombe.
Honorable Speaker, as the Shadow Minister for Industries, Mines and Energy, today I rise not just to debate this appropriation bill, but to confront the uncomfortable truth behind it, especially concerning Vote 15. When one listens carefully to the Honorable Minister of Finance, one would think Namibia is experiencing an economic renaissance. With all honesty, this is not a transformational budget. This is a survival budget for a government that has run out of ideas. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Finance stood in this House and presented this document as if it presents bold economic growth. Let us be honest to the Namibian people. The reality is still the same on the ground. Youth unemployment continues to escalate. Industrialization is on a heavy decline. And energy insecurity remains unresolved. How many more budgets will Namibia receive that promises transformation but delivers administration? Honorable Speaker, this government likes to speak about industrialization. The Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy repeats that word almost every year. Industrialization, industrialization, industrialization. In the current appropriation bill, there is no clear or direct large-scale budget line dedicated specifically to industrialization as a national industrial transformation or transformational program. Allocation relates to small-scale industrialization. The current budget has 6.5 billion Namibian dollars allocated to development. This means that most of the spending goes to salaries and administration, not structural economic transformation. Honorable Speaker, diamonds permanently leave this country. Uranium ore leave this country. Lithium ore and critical minerals leave this country. What do we get in return? We purchase the very same Namibian products in finished form. Honorable Speaker, a country that exports its raw wealth and import finished goods is not it's not industrializing. It is subsidizing other economies. And that is exactly what this government has allowed for years. The Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy should be the engine of Namibia's economic future. Instead, it has become a ministry of announcements rather than implementation. Announcements of industrial parks, announcements of beneficiation, announcements of energy security, announcements of manufacturing. But announcements do not build factories. Announcements do not refine minerals. Announcements do not secure fuel. Implementation does. And implementation has been painfully slow. Honorable Speaker, the discovery in the Orange Basin have captured global attention. Investors are watching Namibia. Energy companies are watching Namibia. The world is watching Namibia. But the question they are quietly asking is this: listen, is Namibia institutionally ready to manage the wealth it keeps on announcing? Because discovering oil is easy compared to managing it responsibly. Where is the comprehensive petroleum infrastructure plan? Where is the clear strategy to turn Namibia into a regional energy hub? Honorable Speaker, right now, Namibia risks producing oil offshore while remaining dependent on imported fuel onshore. That is not strategy. That is policy confusion. Honorable Speaker, if this government was serious about preparing Namibia for the energy future, this specific appropriation bill would show urgency. Instead, currently, it shows caution. And caution in the face of opportunity is the fastest way to lose that opportunity. Honorable Speaker, the Namibian people are patient, but they are not blind. They hear the speeches, they hear the promises, but they are still waiting to see the transformation. A budget should not simply balance numbers. A budget must transform a nation. This is exactly what this document falls short of. Honorable Speaker, the role of the official opposition party is not to oppose for the sake of opposing. Our role is to speak when the direction of governance is too slow, too cautious, or too disconnected from the agency of the moment and its people. And today, that agency is clear. Namibia has resources. Namibia has global attention. Namibia has a historic economic opportunity. But opportunities do not wait forever. If this government continues to move slowly while the world moves quickly, Namibia risks becoming a spectator in its own resource revolution. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, the Namibian people deserve more than careful worded budgets. They deserve factories that create jobs, energy security that protects the economy, resource governance that builds national wealth. Until this government demonstrates that level of seriousness, we will continue to stand in this house and remind them that Namibia deserves better. Let me end with this one simple truth, Honorable Speaker. I do not support this bill in its current form.
Honorable Werekwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise on this good day, on this very good afternoon, while greeting the Almighty God, and I rise in peace. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Finance have tabled a very balanced budget that looks primarily into balancing and focusing our development ambitions, while at the same time reflecting primarily on the discipline that we need to be safeguarding our future development, primarily the stability of the macroeconomy. Now, Honorable Speaker, as I stand here, in 1990, our population stood at 1.4 million. The poverty rate was at 70% of the total population. Today, in 2024, as per the report, and of course that came from the Namibian Statistics Agency, it is indicative that our population is 3,022,401 Namibians. And our poverty rate have reduced to 17.4%. Now that didn't happen in any isolation. It's because of cumulative years of deliberate programs and projects that the Swapo Party-led government have put in place to improve the living standard. Honorable Speaker, if I may continue, when you look at the growth potential of our country from 1990 to 2015, the average growth rate of Namibia's GDP stood at 4.4, and that alone have propelled Namibia to be moving from a middle-income country to a upper middle-income country. That is because of deliberate and considered financial and economic policies of the Swapo Party government that have laid the foundation of strong economic development and growth. When you look closely, again, the per capita of our country stood at, and it actually increased from $1,910 to $4,900 in this very republic. The budget graduated from a mere 7 billion Namibian dollar to 220 billion Namibian dollar in terms of the GDP in 2024. These are statistics that nobody can deny, neither can we slip them under the carpet. Facts are facts. Nobody can deny. Nobody denies that nothing, of course, in any society, there are challenges everywhere, but it will be remiss for one to say nothing has happened in this country. That is unacceptable. In terms of the lion chunk appropriation, there are 106 billion Namibian dollars of our budget. 81.350 billion Namibian dollars is channeled towards the operational budget. Now, if I go down and leave that out of context, the most important part I would like to focus on, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister of Finance, it is the social sector, with a staggering 54.5 billion Namibian dollars, are responsible for 60, or in other words, 61.7 billion of our budget, percent of our budget is directed towards nothing else but the social sector. Why is that the case? When you look at our population in terms of the census, 71% of our population accounts for those below the age of 35. And 6.8% of our population are the elderly. If you do not invest in that, what does that mean? It means that is a key sector of the society to which those that are unable to help themselves, government need to stand for them, government need to be the one that is helping in terms of their growth and development. In terms of the education sector, the key investment that I look at, the Honorable Speaker, the President have declared free education. The government of the Republic of Namibia last year committed 663 million Namibian dollars towards free education. And that free education, Honorable Karonda, I would like to tell you that that have resulted in the increase as far as enrollment of learners and students at schools is concerned. And that again, that is to share education. And as a result, and what is important, an additional 151 million Namibian dollars was made available. That have resulted in the employment of 2,777 students. No, that is not important. What I'm trying to look at is the number of teachers that have been employed, it is incommensurate. Now, when you come to economic employment opportunities, Honorable Speaker, it is my belief that agriculture is an enabler and the only key factor that we can be able, or sector that we can be able to climb on to unlock our economic potential. Rural development is key, and as we continue to neglect the rural economy, it will actually be remiss of ourselves and will not be able to advance as far as economic development is concerned. When you look at the agricultural sector, the land question, today, majority of our land, a total of 82,400,000 hectares of land, 42% of that is still in the hands of the commercial sector. And out of the commercial sector, 70% of that, it is in the hands of the white community. My proposal is that we need to invest strongly in the rural economy. Honorable Speaker, in 1996 and 1999 respectively, a number of boreholes were drilled in Koblenz and Ngongoro. Those very boreholes were never developed, those very boreholes were never installed or equipped for the people to be tapping water from. My biggest suggestion is that we need to reticulate water from those very boreholes and provide water into the existing NAM water system and develop what you call small-scale farms. It is my belief that we are able to develop an additional 200 to 300 new small-scale farming units. Honorable Minister, what is needed, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, a total of 271 million is the analysis that was done by NAM Water. And the Honorable Minister indicated that we need money. So it is a project that we need to prioritize. Prime Minister, this needs to be done in a phase format. It is doable, it is possible, it can be done. The other part, let us invest strongly in developing the abattoirs, the feedlots, and our fodder production system. Why is that important? Namibia exports around 300,000 animals on the hoof to South Africa every year, but MIDCO only needs 66,000 to break through in terms of their break-even. It is important that now we need to look into increasing our local value addition capacity through abattoirs, through creating feedlots where we can slaughter our animals domestically and in any way so that we cannot export our animals on the hoof. Honorable Minister of Agriculture, I want to thank you for one thing. Last year, we have, in 2024, a number of 46 households were brought from Botswana back to Namibia, to their motherland, as a result of them having fled, or their grandparents having fled to Botswana as a result of genocide. Today, those communities are back in Namibia, and when I was governor, indeed, I assisted them strongly. I assisted them, and that was a successful project. But what is important, today, out of the whole Botswana returnees and those that returned to Botswana, from Botswana, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture have allocated resettlement farms, first of its kind, because even those that came back in 1994, not a single one of them have benefited from a resettlement farm. Thank you very much, government of the day. You are a caring government, and the people have bread. Today, Oshipahewa, a place in the communal land, was actually commenced, and as we are talking now, the Ministry of Education have advertised the construction of the 3 classrooms in Oshipahewa. That is to integrate those communities. And I want to add, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, carry on and ensure that we deliver the livestock as we have promised to those communities, because in the end, those communities are waiting from us as far as their socio-economic integration is concerned. I would want to conclude on the question of genocide. Genocide is a key and sensitive issue that our government and the people of Namibia are still looking forward to see the logical conclusion of it. Germany still have to account of those deeds. Germany still have to apologize to those deeds, and Germany have to pay reparations to those deeds. It is important that we as a people need to take our hands and remove our ethnicity in terms of the differences and understand that the genocide question is not a tribal question, but rather a national question. We know that there are those who want to score political points out of the genocide question, but that will not happen. Honorable Kandoro, when you fight the genocide question, do not politicize it. It is a sensitive issue that touches all societies. So I would want to say, Honorable Minister of International Relations, please take the issue of genocide seriously. We are looking forward to the response from the Right Honorable Prime Minister on the question of genocide. Honorable Nekundi, you have received a big chunk of the capital budget in terms of 2 billion. The road from Grootfontein to Chumkwe, the road from Gam all the way to Okatumba, all the way to Epukiro and Duplessis Plus. The road from Okahanja to Okonjato. It's not a social road, but an economic road. The road from Karibeb to Oshimbingwe. The road from Ocho to Kalkfeld. The road from Ocho to Otavi are key roads. Please help us to get those roads out of the way. And in that name, I support the budget and I support it in full. And thank you and God bless the Republic of Namibia.
Honorable Sifeta. Order. Honorable Sifeta has the floor.
It's my floor now. Take the roof. Honorable Speaker, take the roof. It's my floor. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. First and foremost, I support the bill. And I will take a couple of minutes just to direct my speech on the 2 sectors. First, I want to talk about the informal sector, the importance of our informal sector, the role this informal sector has played in our economy, and looking at the structure of our economy. The informal sector contribute, and we underestimate the contribution of the informal sector to our economy. To the GDP, informal sector contribute equally like tourism, 26% to our GDP. That means we are talking about 13 billion, annual 13 billion to our economy. The importance of this, sometimes we underestimate. That's why we do not give support to the informal sector. And the employment, the workforce employed in this informal sector is about 58%, more than the formal sector. So we really need to look at this as a very vital, important sector. And we need to give support. And by giving support, we need to look at the structures in our economy. For instance, when you look at the support from government to this informal sector, it's very minimal. We need to even create either a ministry or a directorate or even a department if you really want to transform this informal sector into formal economy. Because the income derived from this supports so many families. You talk about 58% employment is in the informal sector. So therefore, it is just prudent to say, let us either create a ministry of this informal sector and or a department in one of the ministries so that they can give support to this informal sector. And I want to say this, that the informal sector, when we look at the production in the informal sector, it's local. And it is the embodiment of what we call local is legal. So the production is local, the consumption is local. So it is that epitome of local is legal, as we say. Therefore, we need to really support this. And to even, because the lack of regulatory mechanism also allow these people to be where they are. But we underestimate the contribution of this sector. Therefore, in order to integrate this sector into the formal economy, we need to police this. We need to have regulations. And the other point I want to raise is on our education. Education is what we call what we can say it's a role for everybody. Now, education today, and it's unfortunate that the minister is not here, but the deputy minister is here. We have a discipline decay in education. The relations between learners and the teachers has deteriorated. And the lack of support from parents, there's a lack of parental involvement in education. Children today can challenge a teacher, inside a teacher. Teachers are not supported in most cases. And every time the teacher is the one who is at fault. And it is because of our lack of support to these teachers that sometimes teachers give up and they do as student wishes. You know, those years when we were in education, when we were in school, Parents used to discipline us, even come to a school and discipline you because he heard that you have committed something, you violated the rules in school, at school. And that was something that has been done by communities, many communities in those days. But today, I can assure you that if you're a teacher, you discipline a child, you see a parent coming there, or even a parent registering a case because you disciplined a child. But it was not the case before. And that also caused discipline in our education system. And this poor teacher support system that we have, some of the teachers, they resign, cause the teachers to resign. Some of them, they go to other, to look for other employment in other sectors just because of lack of support. Therefore, something that we need to really look at and start supporting teachers. We must also look at our policies. We give more emphasis on a child's rights, and we don't give support to parents, to teachers. And that I think we need to look at as to how we can do it. I know that there are cases where teachers sometimes, because of maybe, kind of psychological trauma, because they went through this and they start beating children, that is noted. But what is going on now, for some of us who were in education that time, I am not a teacher, but I pity for teachers. It was not the case. Today, a child can come with a knife in school, chasing teachers or pangas. But you see, it's like something that is normal. The society look at that as normal. But you couldn't do that at that time. You were going to be beaten. Your teacher will invite your parent, and they are now going to be beaten by these two. That time, beating was a serious matter. Now, coming to the last point, Mr. Speaker, I want to talk on the point of the remuneration of professionals in the public sector. Why professionals leave public sector is because of lack of remuneration system that we don't have. For instance, today we have how many bills that are still there at the legal drafters, with legal drafters. There are many of them, and some of them stay there for 10 years. Now, these drafters, they are very few, overworked. I'm not talking about that sector. And that's why these bills are still there. Some of them 10 years. I know some of them, they are 10 years still there. So therefore, I think we need to look into the remuneration of these professionals, not only lawyers, but across the board. We don't have a special remuneration for them. That's why they leave the public service and they go to private sector. And at the end of the day, we outsource our work to the private sector, and we pay more instead of creating some benefits for them in order to retain them in the public sector. Honourable Speaker, with this few remarks, I support the bill. Thank you very much.
Honourable Samukwa. Honourable Samukwa.
Honourable Speaker, dear members of Parliament, this budget presented by our Minister of Finance has many good things in it. First of all, it is the people's budget because it emphasizes more on the social sector in terms of the allocation. as has been elaborated by many other speakers before me. Secondly, I see that regarding tax policy, the government will maintain its commitment to implementing measures designed to stimulate economic growth. This is very good. I would have gone on to talk about subsidized tertiary education, social grants, social welfare payments, healthcare, and youth empowerment programs that are embedded in this budget. But all these things have been discussed in details by many, many others. I therefore want to make the following submissions to this Parliament in this general debate as we continue. Number one, given that the disbursement of funds takes up to anything between August and September each financial year to be received by officers, ministries, and agencies, this Parliament must take a stand to ensure that the current arrangements with regards to tabling of the budget, debate of the budget, and approval of the budget to be seriously and positively be disrupted so that we can get to a point where the budget is approved before the beginning of the financial year. This Parliament is the only true representative of the people of Namibia among the three branches or arms of the state. So this Parliament must take the lead to ensure that the budget is approved before the end of March each year. I therefore submit, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, that this Parliament commences its business a bit earlier, not in Feb, but in January, instead of February, in order to give ample time for debates in the two houses of Parliament and eventually the ascension by the President of the Republic. Number two, at the current moment, my observation is that Parliament, by and large, acts like a rubber stamp of the budget prepared by executive arm of the state. No matter how hard we debate, the budget remains as was presented before. This state of affairs must change. Parliament must own this budget for it to be truly a people's budget. I call upon this Parliament to unequivocally support the creation of the Parliamentary Budget Office, which will be equipped with economists, financial analysts, etc. That way, Parliament will be in a position to take its mandate without over-reliance on another arm of state, the executive, as is presently the case. I also am not on your side. I'm in Parliament. Number three, given the low execution rate of the development budget, I suggest that Parliament is appraised by the executive on a quarterly basis at least on the progress of each development project to which the funds have been appropriated. When you inform Parliament about what is going on, we shall not be surprised at the end of the financial year to discover that we have only implemented 71% of the development budget. Honorable Speaker, these are my general observations. Well, we will continue to give inputs as we continue. Having said this, I support the budget unreservedly. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable I thought Honorable Ihemba spoke already. Huh? Secretariat. Honorable Ihemba spoke already, ne? Okay. No? Oh, okay. Honorable Ihemba. Oh, I see. Okay. This, yes, is that what point is that one? Honorable Ihemba, can you please take a seat for a moment? What point is the honorable member raising on?
He has no right to stand.
I am speaking, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much for the floor. I stand on the rule, on the procedural matter.
On what?
My understanding that the honorable member is from IPC. The IPC allocated 30 minutes, and they already took their 30 minutes today.
I beg your pardon?
They already took their 30 minutes today. 30 minutes today, the 19th, and IPC already took. 3 of them already spoke.
Okay. Secretariat, can you confirm
that? Is honorable there. That is honorable there. And honorable Kangulu here. The 3 of them spoke.
Okay, honorable Kangulu and honorable who? Yeah, and honorable Nifikwa and honorable who?
Kangulu,
Your time is, you no longer have time, honorable member. So, honorable Balotti.
He wanted to rob our minutes.
Honorable Speaker, some contributions to this debate over the past few weeks have suggested that this government focuses too much on announcements and ribbon cutting. I now ask that we be honest with the people of Namibia, speaking factually, unlike some shadows who continue to spread misinformation. For example, on Tuesday, my honorable shadow spoke of Namibians not attending sporting events and there being empty stadiums. Honorable Speaker, that is why it is very important to write one's own speeches and not rely on ChatGPT. It is equally misleading to try to compare Namibia to South Africa with its 8 trillion rand GDP, or to make false references about the cost of stadiums in South Africa to earn cheap political points.
Point are you rising on?
Development in any country is a process, and Namibia is no different. It requires consistency and sustained investment, as well as a commitment to long-term results.
One moment, I want to know what the honorable member.
The progress Namibia has made under the leadership of the SWAPO party since independence cannot be dismissed simply because the work remains ongoing.
9 minutes. Your 9 minutes. 10 minutes, I think. Yeah,
are you right?
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Our minutes are moving.
The minute, please, it was 10.
What is the issue now? ChatGPT.
We will not allow. Honorable Speaker,
let's wait and hear what
we'd like the honorable member to withdraw that statement of referring to other honorable members as shadows misinforming the nation, which is not correct, it's unparliamentary, and it shall not be accommodated. Can the honorable Speaker please inform the honorable member to withdraw that statement because it's unparliamentary. We cannot be referred to as shadows making false statements. Otherwise, the honorable member must provide this house with proof that we are making false statements. Honorable Balotti must withdraw that statement.
In your speeches, you are attacking people. You fire a missile, you get a missile.
Members, can you take your seat?
A shadow is a shadow.
Honorable member.
Sit, guys. Sit. Sit. No, your people were not sticking to their budgets. They were attacking. Why did you not stop them? Are you coming to lecture how we must do our debate? Taste of your own medicine. You start war, you get war. Now you are crying. They started taste of their own medicine. They started the war. Continue. Never. It's a fact. Never. You will not be intimidated into that. We don't know whether you are castrated or not. That part we don't know. He said if we think they are castrated, we don't know whether they are castrated. Who knows? Go discuss it at the Chief Whip Forum. Not here.
Honorable members.
Nobody said you are castrated or not. We don't know that fact. We cannot go there.
Honorable members, all rules are to be respected equally by all. Honorable members, can I be heard also now? Can I be heard? No, the noise is coming from this side. Honorable members, the honorable member behind there, can I have silence in the house? Honorable members, you see, when a member makes a point of order, the presiding officer is to be allowed to make a ruling. But the member made a point of order and all of you got up and you are shouting at the same time. How am I to make a ruling now? Even to call the member to retract whatever they are saying. All rules are to be complied, all rules are to be respected to the same extent. The same way that a member cannot say anything that is not allowed, you are also not allowed to just get up and speak in chorus and refuse to sit down. No, I will not be, no, honorable member, no, please. No, I have to express, I have to express my, no, you can't order me to make a ruling. Honorable member, you must sit down. I make a ruling that you must sit down. Yeah. What ruling? How do I even hear what is being said? So you are accusing the member of having made an improper comment, which I did not hear. I will ask honorable.
Yeah, you listen to
Can I be heard, honorable members? Yeah, because you are making noise. Yes. So then, honorable members, we will check the Hansard.
Yeah.
And we'll find out what was said. Now we proceed. Yes. What do you want me to do? No, honorable member, a ruling has been made. No. We will check the Hansard. No. Honorable members, can we also have silence this side? Yeah. Honorable members. No. I cannot be forced to make a ruling on an issue which I cannot confirm. Yeah, I wanted to ask the honorable member to indicate whether what honorable member, can you take your seat, please? You see, when a member, no, can you take your seat, honorable member? No,
I just started. I have a lot more to say, Shadows. I just started.
I will not make a ruling while you
I have a lot more to say.
Honorable member, just take your seat, please. You see, I only have two options. There are only two options. It's either I find out from Honorable Barotti whether he acknowledges that he has said what he said, failing which I have to establish it, to confirm it with the Hansard.
Yes.
But I cannot just be ordered by you that he said that and I must order him to withdraw when I cannot confirm. No. So, yeah, no. You must also just obey the ruling of the presiding officer as he must. All of you must comply with the ruling of the presiding officer. Okay? So, Honorable Barotti, it is said that you made a comment that was cited by the member, did you?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Honorable Speaker. If I may continue?
Yeah, can you...
While our population
No, honorable members, why are you... Leave me to make the ruling. Leave me to No, no, leave me to make it. So, honorable members, leave me to make the ruling. Allow me to make the ruling. You are out of order. You are also out of order. No, you are also out of order.
How is a shadow offensive?
Yeah. Otherwise, the presiding officer can ask the member to discontinue talking, and I will proceed. Because I cannot be bullied also. That what you are doing now is you are bullying me, and I cannot accept it. Honorable member, what I'm saying is, I asked Honorable Balotti whether he said what he's accused of saying. And can I finish? And the Honorable member admitted that he said it. You should have allowed me to make a ruling. You can't just speak in chorus and say, leave me to make a ruling. Yeah. Now what are you complaining about? You have not heard the ruling. No, you cannot order me to make a ruling like that. That's grossly disrespectful. As disrespectful as what he said. So you also have to apologize for your conduct. Yes. That conduct is as disrespectful as what Honorable Barotti said. And I cannot accept it. No, no. Yes, I have not ruled because you are not allowing me to rule. You are making too much noise. Yeah. So honorable member, so I would like to call upon the chief whip of the IPC to please take care of that conduct of the members. That said, I will rule. Stop interrupting, honorable member. You did very well at many other instances. Let me finish ruling, because you cannot complain. You cannot complain about the conduct of another person when you are engaging in the same conduct. So I want to make a ruling on Honorable Barotti, who have acknowledged he has done wrong, and I want also to direct you, Honorable Chief Whip of IPC, to rein in the member of the IPC, because they are completely out of order. Yeah. So if Honorable Member, you said that, please withdraw that.
No, Honorable Speaker, I cannot withdraw. I did nothing wrong, Honorable Speaker.
No. If you refer to the member.
I can repeat.
No, Honorable Members. Can you allow the presiding officer to deal with the matter? No, you can't behave like that, really. That's unruly conduct. No, if the honorable member said what was repeated, that was not appropriate. That's why I asked you, I didn't hear you. I asked you, did you say what you were accused of saying? And you said yes.
Speaker, for the sake of progress, I withdraw which was offensive.
Yeah.
I now ask,
honorable member,
if I may continue. While our population,
honorable member, can you just say I withdraw? No, your time, you will be given your time. If you just remove the, for the sake of progress, withdraw, and then honorable members. Oh, I know what is that. Can honorable members, honorable members, do you want me to suspend the house? I can suspend the house. Yeah. No, this is unbecoming conduct, really. Unbefitting of members of parliament. Yeah. No, he's not Barotti, Honorable Barotti. Honorable Barotti, and you are also unbecoming in your conduct. And I would like to mention you. I name you, and I call upon your chief whip to rein you in also. The same way that I'm asking the Honorable Barotti to withdraw. Because you are speaking in a group of about 5 to 6 people. In standing even. That's unacceptable conduct. Yeah. So, Honorable, just withdraw and then proceed, please, with your statement.
Okay, Honorable Speaker, I withdraw. While our population has more than doubled since independence, as mentioned, where our 1991 census recorded a 1.4 million, so have our towns, so have our schools. Factually, Honorable Shadows, we had just over 1,000 schools at independence, where today we stand at just under 2,100. But they call themselves shadows every day. And the shadow minister, and the shadow minister. Shadows, what's happening? What's happening? Shadow.
But why are you saying?
You call yourself a shadow. You call yourself a shadow.
Okay, honorable members. Honorable adjourn the House. Honorable member, can you take a seat? Honorable member, no. Honorable members, can you take a seat? Honorable members, take a seat. Honorable members.
I didn't see that one coming. Honorable Shadows.
They are making honorable members. They used to produce themselves their shadow now. Honorable members. Can we have order? Honorable. Honorable. Tell the people there to stop. There. Yes. Can the chief whip tell the people there to please? Honorable members, can I have silence in the House? What is this? This is not primary school. No, you too. I am saying allow me to deal with the matter. Why are you interjecting? Allow me to deal with the matter. No, you are making it impossible. No, allow me to deal with the matter. I'm the presiding officer. What you are doing now is exacerbating the situation. Yeah, because you are not allowing me to make a ruling. No, I'm not giving you the floor. Because also really your conduct is not appropriate. Yeah. So I wanted to tell Honorable Barotti he must stop making references to shadow members. If you want to say, no, what are you doing, colleagues? No. Help me to maintain the order. Yeah. So if you want, Honorable Member, if you want to say a shadow minister of so-so, then no, and you allow me to make a ruling. No, let me finish. No, I don't want your support. I want silence. No, man. Otherwise, this House, honorable members, now the House would rise until next week, Tuesday.